But yeah, Sarah, just driving around Mason City today, definitely some flooding in some spots, but hopefully things will be a little bit different here with this warm weather this weekend.
Yeah, a little bit. And I say that because we're still tracking the possibility. Of course, yeah. No, we do have the possibility for some more showers and storms. Most of that waiting until we get into Sunday, though. So a little more time for a lot of this to recede. And I mean, man, I was looking at the Zumbro River here in Rochester. It's flowing. It is looking healthy. So yeah, we got a lot of rainfall over the last couple days. So it was nice to have a nice easygoing Friday, dry Friday, warm, feeling pretty good with dew points a little lower. And tonight, things are looking great in Rochester, Mason City, all across the area as temperatures hover in the upper 60s, starting to fall back a little bit more. And eventually, we'll be dropping right around the 60-degree mark. So getting a little cooler today as we get into officially starting our weekend. And a lot of it has to do with these falling dew points as well. Now, yes, 68 is still a pretty warm dew point, still feeling pretty muggy in Charles City with that 70-degree temperature, but it isn't in the 70s. And not too long ago, I remember pointing out Charles City was at 77 for that dew point. So yeah, it's nice to see these numbers come back down. The next few hours, it's Friday night. If you happen to be out late or into the early morning, there you go. Temperatures gradually dropping down, a few clouds here or there. The winds are calm, just feeling pretty good. All right, moving on to satellite and radar, where we are seeing those clear skies, but clouds not terribly far away, and we could see them build up a little bit more. As I zoom things out, there's quite a bit of activity once again going on in the Dakotas. So this will be something that we'll be watching as we go through the overnight hours to see how close it does get to us, but most of the models are picking up on some of this activity's waning as it gets further and further to the east. High pressure helping with that. High pressure meaning drier air. That's why we are seeing these clear skies tonight. We'll just see how much oomph, how much power this warm front has to push some of this our way. We could be waking up to a few clouds, and yes, there's a small chance that we could see a shower or two. As I push time forward on future track, we're going to see it there, just starting to come through, isolated at best. This is around 8 a.m. and you can see most of us still pretty sunny, and that's the general consensus as we come into the afternoon. Stopping it right here at 2 o'clock because that is when the Grand Parade for Rochester Fest begins. And I want to point out the winds. So a little breezier tomorrow, and these winds coming in from the south, they're going to pump up the temperatures. They're going to pump up the dew points. And here we go. Grand Parade starting at 2 p.m., 83 degrees, 86 by 5 p.m. And we're expecting that to go up even higher as we head into the weekend. Saturday, high of 88, Sunday, 81. And here's that 10-day forecast to show that as we get into the next week, calmer conditions, but most of these evenings show at least a small chance for some more rain. Cammie.